Thank you, Lilia. I see you guys have a microphone. Who wants to go next?
Okay, I guess I'll go. My name is Carissa Simmons, and I was signed on to be a deacon last year, so this is going into my second year. And initially, I was really nervous to step into becoming a shepherding deacon because I am kind of a person where I don't like a lot of things on my plate. Like, that stresses me out. So I like, to commit to like one thing, and I'll do that one thing. And I was afraid to commit to something and not be able to follow through on it. And so I emailed Sean. Gano was the person who had contacted me, and I emailed him probably like 50 questions before I said I would do it, because I just wanted to make sure, like, what am I getting into? Can I do this? Here's my situation. We had a little boy last summer, and so when they had asked me, it was June and he was born in July, so I was like, I don't even know how my life is going to change. Like, can I do this? And so he made it very clear, like, yes, it's fine. You just need to pray for them and, maybe send some cards. And so I thought about it, prayed about it, talked to my husband. And I was like, okay, I think I can do that. I think I can pray for people and send cards like that. I think I can manage that. And so by nature, I would definitely align more on the introvert side. I can put on an extrovert hat really well. I mean, I teach public speaking at San Jack, so I mean, I can do it. But all I'm thinking about when I'm out is like, I just want to go home and be alone. Like, that's like all I want to do. So for me, I'm more comfortable sending letters or emailing. Making the phone calls is a lot harder for me, but it's something that I want to challenge myself to do this time around and like actually call people, because I didn't do that last time. I just sent a letter, and I just thought about it. I said, okay, I'm going to be contacting these people. I didn't know anybody on my list, so it wasn't anyone that I really knew before. And so I said, well, I just want to let them know a little bit about who I am, so that they're not just like, who is this random person contacting me? Like, I'm praying for you. It's like, okay, that would kind of creep me out a little bit if I was on the other end of that. And so you have my letter there. That's from last year, so we didn't have our baby yet. So this year I updated it and was like, yay, we had our baby. So I just let them know, like, who I am and a little bit about my family, my background. Teaching communication, one of the things we learn is that people are more likely to disclose information if you disclose information. So I tried to make them feel more comfortable by knowing who I am, so they didn't feel like, they were just giving information without, knowing anything about me. It didn't really work, though, because I didn't hear back from anybody. So, but that was okay. Like, I know that some people in the meetings I've heard, they kind of feel bummed if no one reaches out or that no one's contacting me. And I kind of looked at it as like, well, they're probably just fine. And so I like Lelia, I would send cards. I send birthday cards to the mom, the dad, the kid, Christmas cards, Easter cards. And every card I let them know, like, I'm praying for you. Here's my contact information. If you have any prayer requests, let me know. So I let them know that I'm here to help you, anything you need. I might not be the person that's going to provide the need, but I can at least be that liaison with the church and help get you the help that you need, or whatever that may be. So I just, I continue to send them cards. Sometimes I just send a little, like, verse. Like, one of my favorite verse passages is Isaiah 43, 1-3. And so, like, I printed that out on, like, a paper and just sent it on a card, like, I'm praying for you. Things like that. So I also am, like, a huge organizational nerd, and so to keep track of it, because they said, like, I'm very literal, and so they said, make sure you're contacting them, like, once a quarter. And so I got an Excel sheet out and, like, put little columns for, okay, Q1, Q2, Q3, and, like, would track, like, who I contacted. Did I send them a birthday card? Did I just send a general card? So that way I could go back and look and, kind of make sure, like, okay, I'm on track for this quarter. I've sent, a Christmas card, or this quarter I did Easter, and I did birthday cards. So I do use an Excel sheet to kind of track it, but I have to say it was not as time consuming as I was afraid it was going to be. It was a lot, it was more manageable. It really doesn't take that much time to sit down and write a card and stick it in the mail. And I think that it's fun to get things in the mail in our world of electronic technology. To actually get, like, a handwritten card, I think is fun. It's not just bills that come in your mail. So so I sent cards and did the intro letter, things like that. But I never really connected with anybody on a personal level in my flock. So again, I just kind of assumed they were okay. And I did run into one couple in the nursery one day, and I heard their name, and I said, oh my gosh, you're on my flock. Like, I'm your deacon. I'm not this crazy lady, like, just sending you things. Like, because I would send them things, and you never hear back, and so part of you is wondering, like, I don't know where this is going. And so, so that was nice to be able to meet them. And so this time around, again, I don't really know too many people on my list. So I'm going to do like Lilia and try to actually call people and see if that kind of will help further enable a relationship on some level. But if anything, I just want to know, like, I'm here. If you need me, that's fine. If you don't need me, that's okay too. Like, I know they probably have family or friends or whatever, but at least if they need something, they know who to contact and that I'm here and things like that. So I don't know, but I'm always wanting to improve and see, like, okay, what can I do better? How can I make this work? And so I'm very interested when we break into like the little tables to see kind of what you guys are doing, to see like what I can try new this year and see if that will be better.
Carissa, thank you. I know Bill's like, I know I can top this.
Well, I can't.
And I can't wait to hear what Bill has to say. Let me all I want to do is, I heard most of that on the phone when I was at work one day, Carissa telling me, when I said, will you do this? I heard yes, and then that whole spiel, and I was just it's so awesome. And in particular, that business about, I think we used the term safety net last year. It's okay to know that when people are, someone gets sick and you're running to the hospital or you're something like that, you're going to go to your family typically first, and other people that you know. It may be people in the church that aren't your shepherd because they're people that you know real well and everything, and that's totally okay. So we're kind of a safety net for maybe those folks that are a little less connected, where that's not just kind of there for them. Isn't it awesome to have this safety net? So if the safety net isn't needed, that's great. And so your attitude about the whole thing is fantastic. Yes. Okay, Bill, now you can top that.
Does this work?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay. These ladies have just talked and said all the right things and all the right words, and anything that I would say would be a duplication of what they said. But I'm going into my second year of being a deacon, and the first thing I want to tell you is being a deacon is not for sissies. You have to be aggressive. You've got to find your
I love a manly response, don't you?
You've got to find those sheep in the service, and when it comes time to shake hands, you go and find them and shake their hand. When we first started, all of us, I'm sure, was told to mail out this card. We've all seen this, and it came in a very small envelope with not a lot of other room. And so what I did a letter similar to the one that's on the table there. There's a few, I didn't bring enough for everybody. And this is introducing them in the second time around version. But I sent a letter like this to all of the people that I was shepherding, and that was an icebreaker and more than just the little magnetic refrigerator card. And while we're talking about the refrigerator card, when you make that out, make sure that you print it legibly and not scrawly or in cursive that you can read, but print it in a way that the person in need, and when they try to get a hold of you, they can read it and not wonder if it's an E or an O or an A. Because it's nice to be able to look at your own writing and be able to read it. Did I read it? Yeah, I was able to read your card. Yeah. You weren't my first deacon, though. Anyway, so this letter is going out to reintroduce myself to the guys and gals that I'm shepherding, and it tells the story. And to kick it up a notch this year, I've had postage stamps printed with our slogan on it that says, "Two deacons for you," because my wife and I do this together. These are actually stamps that can be used for postage. And so one of the things that we hear in the real estate world is there are three words, and that is location, location, location. Well, in the deacon world, the word is connecting, connecting, connecting. every opportunity that you have, connect with your flock. I'm telling you, that is the only way to do. And it's sort of a game at first when you start and try to put faces and names together. And but jump at every opportunity, put that hand out there, be ready to embrace them if you feel like that you can do that with them. I've never had anyone turn away on that one, but that's a lot of the things that we did this first year was we sent out cards, and now we'll send out cards with our special postage stamp on it, and for birthdays and anniversaries and any occasion, sympathy cards and what have you. But another thing that I've discovered through trial and error was that you don't always be there for them when times are in negative need, whether it's a death or someone sick in the hospital. You need to invite them to share their happy times too, their birthdays, their birth, their grandchildren. Get them to talk about that, and it will enrich your life. It will make it more meaningful, and you will see that you're just caught up in their lives like you would want someone to do for you. During this last year, we had two of our members, flock members, that passed away. We had Peggy Mathis and we had George Hall. We were very close with these families from the time that they were in need to the time of the passing. We provided medicine when they needed medicine, transportation when they needed transportation, grocery store visits when they needed groceries, help in getting to a doctor's appointment. Those are the kind of things that makes being a deacon real important to me. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. So, remember, these are naturals. Don't feel intimidated. Yes. Thank you, Rachel. So, who would like to ask a question for these panel of naturals? Rachel. I'm not going to call her a troublemaker, and don't record that, okay?
Okay, Lilia, I don't have the gift of gab, and so when I'm calling people I don't know, I mean, literally, I will rehearse. How am I going to do this? How am I going to introduce myself? And so I'm curious. I just want to know, when you're calling someone you've never met before, like you were going to introduce yourself to your flock, what did you say, at least to get the conversation going?
You know, I'm glad you asked that question, because I was going to ask if I could, actually tell you all what I would say. For me, let's say I was calling Pam Parker. Hi, Pam. My name's Lelia. I'm calling from Clear Lake Presbyterian Church on behalf of the Shepherding Deacon Program. First off, did I catch you at a good time? Okay. All right. Wedding biz. No. And if it wasn't a good time, quickly, I just wanted to call and introduce myself. Maybe I could try you back later this evening. Let's say around 5, if that works for you. I mean, just sort of make it quick. If it is a good time, I'm calling in regards to the Shepherding Deacon Program. I was I was elected as your deacon this year, or over the next 2 years, and just start that conversation. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I live here in Houston. I'm married. My husband Mark. We have a daughter. Just sort of go from there. I've been a member of CLPC for a little over 2 years, and we're involved with a few of the programs here at the church. And let's just say, currently I am the volunteer coordinator for Vacation Bible School. So, cut here. Anybody that would like to help, we need your help. So, that's to the group here. But anyway, I would just introduce myself and just let them know about programs I'm involved with, and then, so, conversation. Yeah.
Okay, no time for advertising.
Okay.
Does anyone have else have a question? Okay. Ladies first.
Anyway, I don't know if anybody's doing this, but you probably all know I feel comfortable with this. I'd like to preach at your home so I can know it's true. can know what they look. I can know what they look like. Has that been heard of by any? Oh, y'all look at me like, huh?
Did anyone want to say something? Do you guys still have a microphone up there?
For me, I think that just in understanding people, being a social person, I think for the majority of people that I think a phone call to start, and then if you happen to have time, or if you'd like to maybe get together for coffee sometime, or if there's something I could do for you, or maybe that brings that invitation for you to come to their home, because otherwise, for me, I would not want to, I would feel like someone was imposing on me if they just said, okay, well, I'm going to show up. I don't know how you visit, or Judith, or what, you know, so share that with us if you've done that. But for me, I think that most of the families, busy schedules, and it's, for me, I would do the phone call first, and if they wanted to get together, maybe so, but just to go and maybe knock on their door to introduce, I think I don't think there's, I think that it's, okay.
I just wanted to say, no. What I would do is send them a letter and talk about, and I send them this, and I'd ask them, would they mind if I came and talked with them? Because I'd hate to be in church and not be able to say hello.
Well, for me, there was a few that I didn't know. I knew Joy and I knew Bill, but there were those few families that I didn't know. But as many times as I tried to call, and even though I sent cards and hadn't heard back from them, I wasn't going to go knock on their door, even though I had their address. Do you see what I mean? Unless there was a communication. So I think for me that would be crossing the line for me personally, just because into their private space. But okay.
I'm not going to go knock on anybody's door. I'm going to ask them if they want to see me, can we talk?
Right.
And that kind of thing. I would never do that work.
Well, I was just saying that
Knocking
just
on
for those that I had not met yet,
Yeah. talking about
and
that.
couldn't track down and couldn't find a picture of, I just sort of waited. But I'm sure that I know Joy, so I could say, Joy, would you mind if I came over and sat with you, or could we come over and
Well,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's move on. I think we need to move on to a couple more questions, and then actually do our workshop. James?
What I'm going to do is the opposite of that. I'm going to invite everyone to come to my home. I'm going to get groups. My division here are widowers, single men. So I'll put that group and invite them to come over for dinner. Because there are people that don't want to be shepherded. And if they don't show up, they don't want to be shepherded. So I'll just send them a letter and tell, hey, I'm here, and I'm here to help you. Those who show up are active in church and understand the spirit of this. We cannot be afraid of not imposing ourselves. I think there's a line, of course, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have everyone over to my place. And we're going to have a barbecue, and we're going to have dinner, and we're going to talk. No. That's my strategy.
Yeah. If I could jump in, what I wanted to say is what I think is great about the Shepherding Deacon program is it allows us to all use our own strengths, and so that we're not just a cookie cutter organization of everyone must do it this way. So what works for Lelia is awesome. I love what you do, and I think your flock probably loves getting to talk with you in church and whatever. And if you want to have the dinner and bring your flock over, awesome. If they want to show up and have dinner, that's so cool. And for people more like me, where it's I will send you a birthday card, then yay for them. But I don't know. I think it's great because it allows us to kind of, use what we're comfortable with, and then maybe also stretch ourselves with what we're not comfortable with. But that way it kind of gives a more dynamic feel to our group instead of it all just being everyone does it this way.
Thank you, Chris. I think we need to kind of move on. Okay. And
I
I guess
agree.
I just want to just if I could I'm gonna get you. I'm just trying to kind of think through what I'm hearing, and I'm hearing we have this panel of folks that were able to come up, and we're hearing kind of their different perspectives, Judith's perspective, James' perspective. So we're all exactly what Carissa just said. We're all going to kind of do it our way, and that's fantastic. Okay.
Oh, okay. This is what I was going to say. Everybody has great ideas. First thing I noticed when I received my email and I printed it out, and I was like, "Oh, great! There's people in my flock that have kids that are my age," and that's a plus. And I'm like, because my kids are 12, 10, and almost 9. So I'm like, and actually, 2 of these families we already played with, so that makes it even great. So I thought, first thing I thought, we just put a pool in about 2 years ago. I thought, cookout pool party, great. But in some of these names I don't know, and I noticed that only thing I'm looking at is their date of birth. They're a little older. It looks like they have older kids. Okay. I immediately am grouping my flock in, okay, this one, we're going to have a great barbecue. The kids are going to play in the pool. We're going to do this. The family's going to socialize. The kids are going to get together. Everything's going to be great. And then maybe this group and this group, maybe we can meet up and have, maybe go meet at Starbucks and have coffee or, piece of pound cake, lemon for that. But anyway, I noticed odds are everybody's flock's not going to be at the same age. I think it's great if they are. And have 29, and I would still leave the open invitation for all 29 people to come to my house. I grew up with 9 kids, and so I know 29 people is nothing. So I don't sweat it. I can actually cook for 29 people an hour before it happens. Hot dogs on the grill, no big deal. Chips, whatever. I think just everything everyone is saying is great, and I think it's great that we can make that reach. The letters are great and stuff. But I love what you're saying about one-on-one contact, and when you see them in church for the first time. I've been going to church here since 2001. Our little boy was 3 months old, and I actually got approached last night by a couple saying, "Is that really Zach?" Because we were in the same group when we became members, and Zach was in a carrier, and he was screaming the whole meeting. And so we have no family here. My husband's from Pennsylvania, I'm from West Virginia. So we just moved here, not too long ago. And so it's just funny to see they go from screaming in a carrier, and today is his first mission trip with the church. So that's my oldest is 12. So it's exciting that people notice him and be involved in the church. And then you know what? Even if I didn't know these people and notice the ages, I would be so excited to have this cookout. It's not a kind of day to do it, because it'll be exciting when, even if they weren't involved in the church, if they see you in church, they're going to talk to you more, and they're going to try to meet more younger families and have something in common and want to come back to church and have fun. Or they might invite me over to their pool and have a little pool party or something like that. Yes.
So one of the things I heard, actually, really from all 3 of you, but especially from Lilia and Carissa, some of the stories you told, was you knew your flock well enough simply because you were consistent in your contacting, so that when the opportune moment arrived, you saw a name on the friendship pad and went, "Oh, I know that person." I mean, I think we were even at Deacon meeting once, Lilia, and you ran into somebody and went, "Oh, wait, you're in my flock." Yeah. So, even if an initial invitation to come to your home for a dinner doesn't work out because the person doesn't respond to that, there are still opportune moments that will happen just when you're in the nursery or you're in worship, or I can sometimes help make that connection as well. So can Linda, so can your deacon leadership team. And so my encouragement to you is to keep your eye out for the opportune moment. Wait for the opportune moment. Be like Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean, and ask for help. So well done is what I would say to you all.
Okay, Judith has something brief, and then Elaine.
I am over 70 years old, and I love 3-year-old children. What are you going to do if you have, where are we, older people, senior citizens in your group? Just have to invite them? You're not going to invite them? You don't have to have a family. My family's so far away. Okay, I wasn't clear on either one of you, quite frankly.
All right, this is something where it goes along with what you're saying. And sometimes older people do not want to be around little kids. Older people. But anyway, I went to a assisted living home with my kids, and this was back when they had, they asked people if they would like to do anything like visit people in nursing homes and just get to know them. But anyway, okay, I'm not a singer, sorry. But I went with my kids, and I had 3, of course, but the problem is they were, I had 3 under the age of 3.5. And I think by that time, no, it was 4.5 at that time. My youngest was 1. So 4.5, 3, and 1. And so I thought, surely I'll go here and visit because they're not getting a lot of communication. Maybe their grandkids are far away. They really will enjoy having kids there to play. Well, problem number 1, I didn't realize some people don't like little ones. And so when I get there and we're talking, and unfortunately she had a breathing machine. And so she had an oxygen all over the room. She had a cord, and my kids were climbing on the couch trying to sit on my lap, and they would climb over the cord, and I'm like trying to control them. We're talking, and everything's going fine. 2 things I didn't know going into it, and I felt bad, was she made her nervous because having the oxygen tank. And 2, and she didn't know. So for me, that was a learning experience for the fact that not all people like kids. And so
Thank you, Sandy. Yeah, I mean, this is a learning experience on how. So is it okay if we finish with Elaine real quick, and then we'll have some time to work on our, sorry?
I think that the thing to remember most, and this is my second time around. First time I did not know one person on my list. I got response from one person who happened to come to the Bible, started the Bible study, and that's how we met. No one ever called me back. No one ever responded to me, and the majority of them had not gone to church in years. So it was kind of a dismal experience. I was putting out effort and getting, and there was no response. But the Deacon program was also very new. Now, every person on my list is a personal friend, except for one. And all, yes. And the interesting thing is, all I hear is, don't send me one of those cards. And my attitude is, you're getting it. I have it, and it has to go out. But at any rate, I know them well. We've related to each other. and we'll continue to relate to each other. And if they're in trouble, I'll be there, and if I'm in trouble, they'll be there. And it's a whole different kind of letter and a whole different kind of contact. And you can kind of get the response on that first telephone call or a first note or something. So just different strokes for different folks.
Wow. I mean, the energy from all you folks that had something to say. Russ, okay, it is good to get a man's perspective once in a while. Thank you, Russ. Okay, so I want to thank Carissa and Lilia and Bill to come up there and courageously share their sort of natural gift that I see at this, and all the energy from all the commentaries is fantastic. Now it's time to get to work. I asked Lilia and Carissa and Bill to sit at different tables. Let's just kind of what we've got is pads of paper there, as well as kind of the letters that Carissa and Bill and the comments from Carla. And we thought there would just be time. We're set up to go till 2 o'clock. There would be time to discuss at your table as you want, and kind of an opportunity to write your letters. Or let's go, jot ideas down.